What's the deal? What's the deal, man? This is another breaking news. Breaking news with your boy 18 Willing. Listen, the U.S. Transportation Secretary, aka Sean Duffy, they had an important damn conference down there, and I'm kind of mad that I wasn't there. You know, they should invite me to these things where I can be there and I can take notes and I could just be a fly on the wall. A lot of people want to know what was the conference about. That's why you're here, right? I'm gonna give you the information. The conference was about the ELP enforcement. They really saying that, look, we are about to yank federal funding from these three states for not enforcing the ELP laws and regulations. So you ask yourself, you know, what are these three states? Where are they at? Where and they on the West Coast. These states are California, Washington, and New Mexico. Let me read some things for you right now. California has failed to adopt and enforce compatible ELP laws and regulations. From June 2025 through August 2025, of the roughly 35,000 inspections resulting in at least one reported violation, only one inspection involved an ELP violation, resulting in a driver being placed out of service. I want to say this. When you look at these dates, right? You got June 25th, July 25th, August 21st. It's only 2 months. You're only clocking 2 months. So if we were to clock a longer span of a year, they hurried up and did this, but they also already had, like, in June, this is what's going to be the target market. So they're focusing in on this, and they have a quota to meet. What's the quota? Okay, let's read further. Notably, at least 23 drivers with documented ELP out of service violations in other states were later inspected in California. Yet the state failed to honor the violations or enforce ELP, allowing unqualified drivers to continue operating on our roads. This was also happened in Washington and also happened in New Mexico. New Mexico was the worst story because it says that New Mexico has adopted the ELP regulation, but is failing to enforce it. From June 25, the 25th to 2025 through August 21st, 2025, the state reported placing 0 drivers out of service for ELP violations and allowed at least 7 unqualified drivers already found unable to meet ELP standards to keep driving and endangering lives of others. It's crazy. Like I said before, if you go to any of my older videos when I was in the truck and I was doing OTR, I'm telling y'all, yo, it feels hella unsafe out here. I want all my truckers to come in and comment down below, you know, what you've been seeing from the time you started truck driving to the current moment that we in. I want to say this. I want every creed, every ethnicity, every sex to be, you know, a staple in the trucking industry. I really do. I welcome anybody to come in, but I want you guys to come in with the knowledge and being able to read the signs. So now they're having, you know, ICE, immigration, all of these different sectors of the government implanted into the weigh station because of this one incident. This one incident really it put awareness on the trucking industry, and we're talking about what happened down in Florida. But you know, let's not. This is not the first time that's happened. It's happened with Americans doing illegal U-turns, and hell, I've even done some illegal things in the truck that I know I wasn't supposed to do. Whether I got lost, whether I'm lacking for time, and all of those things. And it wasn't ELP related. It was just me trying to, you know, cut some corners. And, you know, this is what's going on, man. This is what's going on. I'm sorry I had to say that, but all of the truck drivers, nobody out here driving perfect. But try to drive as perfect as possible. You are a professional driver. When it comes to reading signs and being able to learn English, this is not nothing that's done, you know, overnight. These are things that has to be practiced over time, and you'll get it. So let's read on further. They're going to give it a phase one. What phase we in right now is phase one. Phase one is basically, yo, these states have 30 days to get their sugar honey iced tea together. If you don't get your sugar honey iced tea together, guess what? They gonna yank the federal funding, the funding for the states. So the states would no longer have funding for truck drivers because they're not running things properly. And I think the best way to behead a snake is to cut off the funds, whatever's running it. That's how you behead a snake the right way, and the body will fall. So that means that it's not going to be a lot of other licenses given out. It's not going to be no type of federal funding for anybody in those states, and that's going to slow up a lot of stuff. And guess what? Initially, in my prediction, I feel like a lot of drivers are just not going to go to those states. Or that might be the hot spot to go to those states, because now they have an eye on what's going on. It seems like every other, state is doing the right thing. Let's look into how much will be, taken if they do enforce, if they go past phase one. So phase one for California, they're saying that it's $20 million allotted to that state alone in federal funding. It'd be off the table no longer if y'all don't comply with the ELP regulations. For Washington, it's $10 million that will no longer be on the table if you guys do not, comply with the federal regulations. The last but not least is New Mexico with $7 million in funding. That will be off the table if you guys do not comply with the federal regulations. What do I feel about it? I feel like it's needed, because there are drivers out here that don't understand what's going on. They can't read the signs, but they are in a truck driving, and it's scary. It's not only scary for the truck drivers, but it's scary for the whole surrounding of whoever's around that truck. Just imagine you in a four-wheeler and somebody has a stop sign or somebody has a no U-turn sign, and they don't understand what that means, and they do a U-turn. And the same thing that's happening in Florida, everybody's been recording it everywhere. I need people to come in these comments right now and just give me your experience on what you've been seeing with the semis. I don't drive around semis. When I'm in a four-wheeler, when I'm driving, a four-wheeler is just a regular vehicle with four wheels. We call them, truck drivers call them four-wheelers. It's just trucker talk. But when I'm driving my personal vehicle, I do not drive beside a semi. I just don't. I know that there's a lot of distracted drivers. How many times have we seen this? And they swerve over in your lane. How many times have we seen the leg up where they got their leg on? Like, let me know what y'all been seeing. These are things that's going on. It's distracted driving and also can't comprehend driving. Like I said, I want anybody and everybody in trucking, because it's a stepping stone. But just imagine yourself as a driver, as my guy Mafia say. Yo, just imagine you going over to Russia, you going over to China, you going over to Japan right now in this current moment, and they put you in a truck. You get a nice job, you get a nice pay. Your incentive is going to be to collect those checks, but you don't know where you going. You don't know where you going. You don't know how you get in there. You don't know how to read the signs because it's in a different language. And that's what's going on right now. And it's pretty scary right now. So shout out to Sean Duffy, man. Shout out to the U.S. transportation, the whole sector, the DOT, FMCSA, for really clamping down on this. And they're really following, Trump's directions. As much as we don't like it, Trump's leadership when it comes to trucking, man, I have to say, I agree. You know what I'm saying? I agree. But when we get to this immigration segment, I want y'all to go ahead and chime in, because it's going to be a whole different type of segment, man. This your boy 18 Will, and this is breaking news, and we out of here.